To go from the height of political power in Scotland to a desperate fight for her personal reputation has put Nicola Sturgeon to the toughest of her many tests. As she prepares to tell her story in her own words, she recalls the day in the midst of the investigation into SNP finances, her then husband was taken for questioning. What was it like when you saw Peter being led away?
I don't really have a clear memory of that.
But the idea of him being taken out of your family home.
I genuinely don't know whether the fact that I don't have a clear image of that in my head is because I didn't witness it or that I have kind of somehow blocked it out. It wasn't until I got to my mum and dad's that I saw the pictures of my house looking like a murder scene. I had this sense of horror and upset and, you know, the kind of shame of it all.
There was another clear punctuation point. You described Sunday, June the 11th, worst day of your life. You're arrested. You have to attend a police station. How was that?
Horrific. I think part of me just closed down.
Nicola Sturgeon's departure from office was also marked by one of the most toxic debates ever in Scottish politics around the controversial legislation she drove on gender recognition reform. She now wishes she'd handled it differently.
At the point I knew it was becoming, or felt it becoming as polarised, I should have said, right, okay, let's pause. I fervently believe that the rights of women and the interests of trans people are not irreconcilable at all. I should have taken a step back.
So you're basically admitting that you should have just paused that legislation. Yeah. You became unstuck over the questions about the transgender prisoner, the rapist, Isla Bryson. Why couldn't you answer that question?
I think I was caught up in the...
Will you answer it now, whether you believe Isla Bryson
Isla Bryson identified as a woman. I think what I would say now is anybody who commits the most heinous male crime against women probably forfeits the right to be, you know, the gender of their choice.
They forfeit to be the gender of their choice? That's quite... I mean, this actually goes to the heart of the difficulty around this.
That probably was not the best phrase to use. But
they forfeit their right to be the gender of their choice.
If you rape a woman, then I think you probably... The debate about whether they should be called a woman or not, probably...
Well, why don't you simply say then Isla Bryson is a biological male?
They are a biological male, but that's about whether it gets back into the self-ID thing. I should have been much more straightforward. I wasn't. We'd lost all sense of rationality in this debate. I'm partly responsible for that.
And in a deeply personal moment, Nicola Sturgeon talks about her sexuality. You write in the book, "I have never considered sexuality, mine own included, to be binary." What do you mean by that?
I mean what it says. It's just my view of the world and life and the way people are. If you're about to ask me, am I making some big revelation? No. Am I putting labels on myself? No. That's how I see the world.
Might we see you in a relationship with a woman?
I'm just out of a marriage, so I'm not rushing into a relationship with anyone anytime soon. I'm enjoying being my own person for a while.
But not ruling it out?
I'm not contemplating, you know, sort of anything of that nature. I'm just enjoying life.
You've got a tattoo.
Midlife crisis alert.
Midlife crisis alert. Show us the tattoo, Nicola Sturgeon, and what that is.
So it's kind of an infinity symbol with an arrow. What it signifies to me is strength, resilience, and continuing to move forward even when it feels impossible.